Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Celeste Sauter here. We are on week two, day two of Power Hours and with the Soul Sister Project. I was talking about this on my live that I just did a little while ago, is that God really was putting it on my heart to simplify. Because see, I was walking in a season before where I wasn't actually putting my oxygen mask on first. And so those the Soul Sister Power Hours were the answer to the prayer that I had prayed. So I know there's so many others because I've witnessed that where people are like, "Well, I don't know if I have time for that," right? Or I can't. I'm working full time, or I'm putting together all these things for clients and I can't do this for myself, or my personal brand goes to the back burner when I am in creation mode for others, right? In this service industry kind of thing. So I'm going to pull up my friends, um Jordan and Sarah, and I want to hear from them too because I know I'm not the only one that experiences this. And I would love to hear kind of what you're experiencing in these power hours as that like metaphorical oxygen mask on first compared to what you've done in the past.
Yeah, it has been exactly what you're saying. Having this time, first thing, more or less first thing in the morning to actually focus on content primarily. Like we can do whatever we want to,
Yeah.
but the prompts center around content, and that's what I've been using it for sure. Because I know that content creation is vital. I've been an entrepreneur online for over 20 years, and it all started with content, with blogging back in the day. And so I know how vital that is, and not just for visibility, but for myself, for that reflection, for the ability to look at something on the page instead of trying to look at it in my mind, which, guys, it doesn't work. Put it
Huh.
out so that you can actually think about it instead of your brain power just being used to store it and remember it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, this has been an amazing thing where we can it's getting it out and like in motion to look at it, to tweak it, to maybe even change it, but it's getting it out instead of using the brain space to try to figure it out. We're in motion, and I love that, Jordan. And you talked about content, and that's where you began 20 years ago and stuff like that. Well, what what I was talking about on my live, but also just God, right? God, I woke up and I was like, I don't hear you. What's going on?
Mm.
Right. And so I started really just leaning in and hearing him. And I came up with the kingdom way of this entrepreneurial thing. I didn't come up with it. He revealed it, just FYI. That was not, anyways. And it starts with influence. And that's what, see, can he trust us with influence? Then can he trust us with making an impact? And then there's this income that comes from that, from influence and impact. Income comes, right? And um and so I was seeing it because the world says income, impact, influence. You buy your influence. That's not the kingdom way. So as we're talking about content and the power hours and things like that, we do focus a little bit on offers and things like that towards the end of the week once we kind of understand what we're talking about and like getting really clear on that. And but would you say that the just today, like yesterday and today, do you feel more solid in that influence part of that than your prior time? I haven't heard from Sarah either. Would you like, yeah, Sarah, would talking about oh gosh, influence, impact, income, would you feel that in the first part of this week even? Do you feel more solid in your content for your influence than you have in previous weeks?
Yeah, I just have a lot of stuff rattling around in my brain, so I just need to find clarity in what I think it is that is my calling. Um, but yeah, this is all like just open doors in my brain that were like shut because I didn't know it was possible for me to make impact and income, and um just being able to like show up fully as who I am, and um do what I love and make money doing it.
I know. I think that that feels elusive to a lot of women. And I overcomplicated my own business because of that. Right. And when he calls us to strip it away, like strip away that complexity and just go back to simplicity, that clarity that Sarah is saying that she's like, I need to have clarity. The clarity comes from just taking the actions that are put in front of us and not worried about the in like the what the outcome is. And and knowing, trusting that if he's calling you to it, right? The doors are open, you're walking the walk, and you're doing the things and the daily stuff. I mean, it is daily steps and they're not complex that he will show you the way. It's that shoulder or it's forehead to the shoulder blades of Jesus that I talk about. Does that resonate with either one of y'all? It's just
Yeah, and I think
faith
so many
walk.
people are just lost in the like, how do I show up as me? Like, why am I important? Like, why does my story matter? And so it's just helping people almost like be a guide, and bring that story out of them. And that's just what has
Absolutely.
been happening like over and over in my world, is like people are like, hey, will you help me? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, do I know what I'm doing to help you? But I think I finally do.
I know it. Well, and it's getting out of your
Oh,
own way. Yeah, I remember this because do you realize like the rise and shine? So that's how me and Sarah met was through rise and
yeah.
shine with Celeste. I was just going live talking about my faith, healing out loud. I didn't have any kind of anything really, honestly, an ecosystem behind that. It did show me how to help others and teach others how to get out there and then multiply their content with what they're already doing, but they have to start somewhere, right? And it wasn't until that season of silence that I'm coming out of that I realized I actually have authority in this. And so Sarah, I I really think that that's what you're walking out is like you actually have authority in the things that
Yeah.
people are seeking you out for because of the work you've done in the secret place.
Yeah.
Jordan, does
That
that
just
resonate
gave
with
me
you?
goosebumps.
Oh, well, good. Holy Spirit moment. Jordan, does that resonate?
Yeah, I was kind of reflecting on the consistency piece because part of what has been coming out in my content, both the book I'm writing and the content that's flowing out of that onto my Substack blog and then therefore onto social media, is this thought that we've been told consistency is king, but consistency can be a killer.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I've been reflecting on that a lot. And it's ironic because I'm in this season of consistent power hours and consistent posting on Substack and this structure, which is very, very helpful, but balanced with
Mhm.
the purpose behind it, the actual influence, not just consistency for the sake of consistency. Because I think back to when I was literally dying, like losing way too much weight, toxic mold, postpartum. It was like the whole thing. And consistency was my lifeline on the one hand.
Mm.
And I was holding on to it and posting whole articles every day without ChatGPT, mind you. and and it was draining. So
Yeah.
balancing that lifeline of that creative cycle that kept me going and kept me showing up, but then realizing when to let it go
Yeah.
because you're just adding to the noise in your own head, in your own little world, let alone putting content out there. And so it's been a very interesting line to walk. And the power hours have really been that consistent invitation to audit, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Definitely. That's a good word, audit. Because and as you were talking, I thought about the ebbs and flows of life. We have cycles. There's an ebb and there's a flow. And a lot of the time when we have an ebb, we start going back to that shame, like behavioral modification using shame. Why aren't you, like why aren't you doing this? And this consistency is king, and I'm not getting online, and I should. Stop shoulding yourself, right? Don't should. That's all about shame. But there's ebbs and flows in life, and that includes content creation if you're called to it. It includes the impact and the influence and the even income. There's ebbs and flows to all of that. Um, I would like so Sarah talking Jordan was talking about this consistency is king and things like that. Does that go against everything you've been taught, and does it release the burden of having to have content all the time, or do you feel like stretched and thinking, well, oh, I could give like talk to me when we're having this conversation because I know you're all about content creation.
Yeah, I think a lot of women are sitting in shame, and I think back to the time that I spent in this little chair over here like raising my boys. Like my husband was working, but I wasn't working, and I thought that I had to like leave my house to make money. Like it never crossed my mind that I could create my own income from my house. And I feel like so many people are just living in this just like disgusting like self-sabotage and limiting
Mm,
beliefs. And like I think it's like once you can break out of that, then content becomes easy. um because you realize that like you are the content. And like I don't know. Like I really feel called
no,
to
that's
like
good.
help women who are just like stuck in the like yuck of their brain, with just teaching them simple. I love books. So like I read a book called Free to Focus, and he just breaks down like how to plan your day. I think so many people are just living in overwhelm and constantly scrolling, and they forget like, oh, if I had a plan, like I could get it done. And like just creating like healthy boundaries to run a business so that your business isn't running you, I think.
Well, and that's a like an amazing back to the beginning, right? Like this, we've had this like kind of this loop de loop because what you just said goes right back into the power hours. Even if it's just 1 hour a day, it's still carved out for you and your
Yeah.
business and the content. Or there's other things we can help you with. You just bring the intention. If God really puts it on your heart, this intention,
Yeah.
I can guarantee you, I probably have a tool that can help you, or I know of a tool that can, or one of us does, right? Because
Yeah.
we are
I
all
sent,
very,
I don't know if you've
very
seen your
educated in this.
messages this morning, but like I sent you, I was like, I was trying to create my own chat GPT. Can you just make this for me? Like, I
Oh,
can't
no, I
figure it
haven't seen
out.
it yet. I was probably
But
live. I'll have to look. Yeah.
yeah. You're
So
just really good
anyways,
at that. And I'm like, my brain does not like.
I know. I really am. I love it. It's one of my
Uh,
favorites. But I feel that we all of us inside of the Soul Sister Project really have that heart for women to um, become free in
yeah.
being themselves online, things like that. Because see, if you're not free, then you're in bondage. And that's not God's heart for you. It's not our heart for you, but it's definitely not God's heart for you. So um, let us help you become free and showing up and fully yourself in a really
Fly.
great way. We can help you with that. So anyways, we'll be back tomorrow for another like recap on the Soul Sister Project Power Hours. My name is Celeste Sauter. This is Jordan and Sarah, and we can't wait to welcome you into the Power Hours. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.